This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. 24 COVID deaths reported over the weekend as more than 100,000 are fully vaccinated in the country. And the Senate picks revealed. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, October 4th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. Also this morning, it is National Breastfeeding Week. We're going to get some details on breastfeeding in the Bahamas and also what role men need to play in this coming up. And then in Morning Blend Business, we are talking with the Central Bank of the Bahamas. There's a lot of exciting things happening with them, including the launch of the new $100 bill featuring the late A.D. Hanna. That launch coming this week. We'll get some details ahead of that this morning. And we'll get some information on the Get Money Smart video essay competition for students. We'll tell you what you need to know about that this morning. A lot to get to, but first it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, 24 more COVID deaths confirmed over the weekend, one of which happened a year ago. Of the deaths, 13 occurred in September, 7 in August, 1 in July, 1 in May, 1 in March, and 1 in October 2020. The victims ranging in age from 42 to 96. 16 of the victims were men and 8 were women. 8 of the victims were from New Providence and 4 from Abaco, 3 from Andros, 3 from Eleuthera, 3 from Exuma, 2 from Bimini, and 1 from Cat Island. The latest deaths bringing the confirmed toll in the Bahamas to 557. An additional 119 people have also been confirmed to have died with COVID, but not because of it. The number of deaths still under investigation also increased dramatically over the weekend from 41 on September 30th to 66 as of October 2nd. When asked for clarity on the sharp increase in deaths under investigation, a spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Coral Miller, confirming that the figure was correct and that 33 deaths were recently reported, but she says that they've been recorded as deaths under investigation. Miller also addressing the inclusion of a death that occurred 1 year ago, noting that it was only just recently reported. Director of National HIV/AIDS and Infectious Disease Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, saying yesterday while she does not have information on the latest confirmed deaths, numbers at Princess Margaret Hospital up to September 30th continue to indicate the overwhelming majority of COVID deaths are among unvaccinated individuals. The numbers have remained steady even with the increase in the number of people opting to get immunized. Meanwhile, PMH Administrator Mary Walker is saying that while hospitalizations have decreased in recent weeks, she is concerned that recently relaxed COVID mitigation measures could cause an uptick. She says they're keeping their fingers and toes crossed as they wait and see. Back to the vaccination numbers, more than 100,000 people are fully vaccinated now against COVID in the Bahamas. According to the Ministry of Health, as of Saturday, 104,380 people were fully vaccinated, including Johnson & Johnson, and a total of 124,433 people had received at least one dose of a vaccine, not including Johnson & Johnson. A total of 224,531 doses of the COVID vaccines were administered to people in the Bahamas. The national vaccination campaign has been ongoing since March. The free COVID testing the Davis administration intends to provide by year's end will be antigen tests, according to Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville. Darville yesterday saying Cabinet and various other committees will have to discuss funding for the program. He says an investment in free testing will allow the Bahamian economy, which was hard hit by COVID-19, to grow more. And 10 COVID cases on Meguana are all believed to be connected to an individual who recently reported travel to another island and became infected with the virus. Health Minister Dr. Darville saying that prior to the confirmation of the cases, the island, which had a population of fewer than 300 people, had confirmed 6 cases since March 2020. He says of the 11 people who tested positive, 2 people were vaccinated. One was fully vaccinated, we're told. The second person was partially vaccinated, and that they believe this may be associated with someone coming into the island, but that the information is not conclusive at this point. He said the person at the center of the outbreak was not vaccinated. Investigations continue into what led to a police officer being shot at LPIA. That officer was assisting a business with a deposit at the airport, was shot on Saturday. Police say a gunman approached the site shortly after 5 p.m. and was shot and shot the officer. The officer was still conscious after the shooting and was taken to the hospital where he was last listed in stable condition. Police say the shooter escaped, but later arrested a man in connection with the matter. A second suspect remains at large. More than 500 Haitians repatriated to Haiti from Inagua. The Department of Immigration saying 4 chartered Bahamas Air flights left Inagua to Cape Haitian in Haiti with a total of 516 migrants on Friday. National Security Minister Wayne Monrosa and Minister of Immigration Keith Bell led the delegation to Inagua on Friday. And 4 unsuccessful PLP general election candidates will be among the 16 new senators. Tyrell Young, who was the candidate for Long Island, James Roll Turner, the candidate for East Grand Bahama, Kirkland Russell, who ran for Central Grand Bahama, and Ronald Duncombe, who was the candidate for Killarney, will all serve in the Senate, according to an October 1st memo from Secretary to the Cabinet Nicole Campbell to Secretary of the Governor General Jack Thompson. The PLP's defeated candidate in St. Barnabas, Michael Halkitis, who was recently sworn in as Minister of Economic Affairs, and Ryan Pinder, the new Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, were previously named to the Senate. The other senators are Attorney Lachelle Adderley, PLP Young Liberals Chairman Barry Griffin, and PLP National Vice Chairman Quinton Lightburn. They're being appointed by the Governor General on the advice of the Prime Minister. The memo to Thompson also revealed that former Bahamas Consul General to Atlanta Randy Roll, Attorney Darren Peckstock, and Professor Dr. Recia Hepburn are being appointed in accordance with the article in the Constitution, which requires the Prime Minister to consult with the Leader of the Opposition before finalizing the selections. Overseas, New Zealand's government acknowledging today what most other countries did long ago, that it can no longer completely get rid of the coronavirus. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announcing a cautious plan to ease lockdown restrictions in Auckland, despite an outbreak there that continues to simmer. Since early in the pandemic, New Zealand has pursued an unusual zero-tolerance approach to the virus, through strict lockdowns and aggressive contact tracing. Until recently, that elimination strategy had worked remarkably well for the country of 5 million, which has reported just 27 virus deaths. While other nations faced rising death tolls and disrupted lives, New Zealanders went back to workplaces, schoolyards, and sports stadiums safe from any community spread. But that all changed when the more contagious Delta variant somehow escaped from a quarantine facility in August after it was brought into the country from a traveler returning from Australia. Despite New Zealand going into the strictest form of lockdown after just a single local case was detected, it ultimately wasn't enough to crush the outbreak entirely. One factor may have been that the disease spread among some groups that are typically more wary of authorities, including gang members and homeless people living in transitional housing. That outbreak has grown to more than 1,300 cases, with 29 more detected on Monday today. A few cases have been found outside of Auckland. Prime Minister Ardern saying that 7 weeks of lockdown restrictions in Auckland had helped keep the outbreak under control, but that elimination likely won't be possible. New Zealand began its vaccination campaign slowly compared to what other developed nations had been doing. Rates rocketed in August after the outbreak began, but have dropped off significantly again since then. And Japan's parliament today electing Fumio Kishida, a former moderate turned hawk, as prime minister. He'll face an economy battered by the pandemic, security threats from China and North Korea, and leadership of a political party whose popularity is sagging ahead of a fast-approaching crucial national election. With his party and its coalition partner holding a majority in both houses, Kishida won by a comfortable margin against Yukio Idano, head of the largest opposition Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan. After being sworn in at a ceremony in the Royal Palace, Kishida was to hold his first news conference as Prime Minister and chair his first cabinet meeting later today. He replaces Yoshihide Suga, who resigned after only 1 year in office, as his support plunged over his government's handling of the pandemic and insistence on holding the Tokyo Olympics as the virus spread. In sports, it was a dramatic final minute on Sunday afternoon for Bahamian women's professional basketball player Jonquel J.J. Jones and the Connecticut Sun in the WNBA as they were unable to score a go-ahead bucket as the Chicago Sky survived 86-83 to take a 2-1 lead in the WNBA best-of-5 semifinal series. Playing on the road at a loud Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Jones had another tough game as she finished with just 10 points, almost 10 below her season average. She added 10 rebounds for a double-double. Jones connected on 5 of her 11 shot attempts from the field to finish at a 45.5% clip. She came away with 4 blocked shots that included a key one on an attempted layup by Azura Stevens midway through the fourth quarter. It was a back-and-forth game that included 10 ties and 15 lead changes heading into the fourth quarter. League MVP Jones had only 2 shot attempts in the fourth quarter and scored just 4 points in the second half. She made a layup at the 8:33 mark of the fourth to put the Sun up 70-62. That was the Suns' largest lead of the game, coming on the heels of a 10-2 scoring run. And it looked like the Sun had the momentum at that point, but it was short-lived again. The Sun on the brink of elimination. The Sky win one more. They're heading to the finals. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. After competing in the Dominican Republic for a week, the Bahamas Under-12 girls tennis team returning home this weekend with a silver medals draped around their necks. The 3-member team in action at the 2021 Confederation of Tennis of Central American and the Caribbean Under-12 team for the sub-region 3 and 4. You can read more about the team members and how they did in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NFL, Tom Brady back in New England and proving he is indeed the GOAT. From the moment the NFL schedule came out with the Buccaneers playing in New England to the rainy night that concluded with, of course, a victory at Gillette Stadium, Tom Brady knew this would be very different. He cherished his 19-17 victory, which the Bucs got just by the skin of their teeth, but a victory nonetheless, defeating his old team at home right there in New England. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather this morning, deep layered troughing along with a tropical wave triggering unsettled weather across the Bahamas, while high pressure will maintain a moderate to fresh breeze over the archipelago. Mariners should be alert for waterspout and funnel cloud activity in showers and thunderstorms. Beachgoers should exercise caution along Atlantic East Coast beaches due to the risk of rip currents. And everybody's being advised to remain hydrated as we're expecting triple-digit heat indices today. For the northwest and central Bahamas, your forecast calls for variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, but building to 6 feet in northeasterly swells. For the southeast Bahamas, cloudy to overcast, warm and breezy, with scattered showers and widely scattered thunderstorms, some heavy at times through tonight. Small craft should exercise caution. Winds southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet. Temperature-wise, look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Again, the heat index will be in the triple digits. We thought things were calming down a bit, but nope, not yet. Look for that to be near 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics, and something we need to watch very close to us. I'll tell you about that coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Coming up this morning, we have more weather and traffic. And in our 8 o'clock hour, we are doing a couple of things. We're going to be talking about National Breastfeeding Week. And they're making a push for men to take an active role in breastfeeding. How? We'll let them explain. This morning, and our guest this morning. And then it's another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And two lucky people, are going to win some great prizes this morning as we are hearing some good news about the numbers of people who are fully vaccinated. Still moving slowly, but getting there. More than 100,000 fully vaccinated now. Later in Morning Blend Business, we're talking with the central bank about the new $100 bill with 80 Hannah on it. That's going to be launched this week. We'll get the details this morning. And they'll tell us about the Get Money Smart video essay competition for students to take part in. Some great prizes there as well. So a lot to get to on this Monday, but let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, in the fight against COVID, there's good news and there's not so good news. Let's begin with the good news. More than 100,000 now are fully vaccinated in the country. We're about to embark on Census 2020, now 2021. So everyone's been guesstimating that we have about 400,000 people in the country. We'll know soon enough, hopefully. But if you go by that number, that's a quarter, 25%. Got a long way to go, but that's good. That's good, and so that's encouraging. 100,000 people fully vaccinated in the country. Our Jasper Ward writing about this today. More than 100,000 people are fully vaccinated. According to the Ministry of Health, as of Saturday, 104,380 people are fully vaccinated against the virus, including the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And a total of 124,433 people had received at least one dose of a vaccine, not including Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson, of course, the one-dose vaccine. A total of 224,531 doses of the COVID vaccines were administered to people in the Bahamas. The national vaccination campaign has been ongoing since March of this year. Now, as you may recall, the Bahamas has secured more than 500,000 doses of three vaccines, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, and Pfizer. The government is still awaiting more than 250,000 doses of Pfizer, which were donated by the United States. The introduction of the two additional vaccines, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, in August also coincided with an improvement in the Bahamas' regional ranking for COVID-19 vaccination per capita. On August 23rd, a Caribbean Public Health Agency situation report noted that the Bahamas ranked 23rd of 26 countries and territories for its vaccination per capita. At the time, there were only 12.9 vaccinated people per 100,000 in the Bahamas' completed schedule of COVID-19 vaccination. As of last week, the country ranked 9th in the region with 46.5 vaccinated people per 100,000 of the Bahamas' completed schedule of COVID-19 vaccination. All right, so improvements there. While that's happening, though, just some disturbing news coming from the Ministry of Health about the death situation, and it is slightly worse than we thought. 24 more COVID deaths were confirmed over the weekend, including one that happened a year ago. Of the deaths, 13 occurred in September, 7 in August, 1 in July, 1 in May, 1 in March, and that one in August of 2020. The victims ranging in age from 42 to 96. 16 of the victims were men and 8 were women. 8 of the victims from New Providence, 4 from Abaco, 3 from Andros, 3 from Eleuthera, 3 from Exuma, 2 from Bimini, and 1 from Cat Island. The latest deaths bringing the confirmed toll in the country to 557. An additional 119 people have also been confirmed to have died with COVID, but not because of it. 119. The number of deaths still under investigation also increased dramatically over the weekend from 41 on September 30th to 66 on October 2nd. When asked for clarity on the sharp increase in deaths under investigation, Coral Miller, a spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, confirmed that the figure was correct, telling our news team, quote, 33 deaths were recently reported. However, they've been recorded as deaths under investigation. As they are confirmed, they will be documented in the COVID-19 report. Miller also addressed the inclusion of that death from a year ago, noting that it was only just recently reported. She said, quote, as for the death that occurred in October 2020, this is also correct. This death, although it occurred last year, was just reported to the Ministry of Health and now is being reported to the general public. 1 year ago. Wow. Now, Dr. Nakia Forbes, director of the National HIV/AIDS and Infectious Disease Program, said yesterday that while she does not have information on the latest confirmed deaths, numbers at Princess Margaret Hospital up to September 30th continue to indicate that the overwhelming majority of COVID deaths are among unvaccinated individuals. The numbers have remained steady even with the increase in the number of people opting to get immunized. She said, quote, very much so, we are still having the experience where 95% of admissions are unvaccinated persons. 95%. About 3 to 4% are partially vaccinated. And of those that are partially vaccinated, 58% were admitted less than 4 days after the first dose of their vaccine. So you know that is not fully protected at all. And less than 1% of these admissions are fully vaccinated. When it relates to deaths, our updated information up to September 30th, it's still a similar picture. 95% are unvaccinated persons. About 3 to 4% are partially vaccinated, approximately. And we're seeing approximately 1% of persons fully vaccinated that have died from COVID. Forbes noted the fully vaccinated people who died had conditions making them immunocompromised. I'm going to say that again. Forbes noted the fully vaccinated people who died had conditions making them immunocompromised. She also added, quote, and so it's important to recognize that COVID vaccines are effective and critical tools to bring the pandemic under control, and no vaccine is 100% effective at preventing illness, and some fully vaccinated persons may get sick. Some will even be hospitalized, and uncommonly, some may die from COVID-19. According to the Ministry of Health, 198 new COVID cases were confirmed between Thursday and Saturday, 198. Of them, 180 were on New Providence, 8 on Grand Bahama, 5 on Eleuthera, 1 on Andros, 2 on Inagua, 1 on Acklands, and 1 in Exuma. New COVID cases seem to have been decreasing slightly in recent weeks. From September 27th to October 2nd, 537 new cases were recorded. But from September 20th to September 26th, there was 593 cases. And from September 13th through 19th, 648 cases. So we're seeing a slight decrease there. The decrease in cases has come as a pleasant surprise to some who worried that with the recent election, there would be an increase in the spread as a result of the large gatherings. But while the numbers are still high, it hasn't borne out the way many had expected. So that is encouraging. But of course, we do have more people getting vaccinated at the same time. So that is likely what's playing out there. All right, so Pamela Musgrove is with us. Good morning, Pam.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Great to have you with us. All right. So just like we said, while there's some good news with the 100,000 now, over 100,000 fully vaccinated, this is a large number of deaths that we saw there, and it's still a head scratcher why that one from a year ago is just now being reported. But
well, they do put on that category undetermined.
Under investigation,
Under
right.
investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that opens, it's important to look at that number
yeah,
to see the possibility
yep.
of the numbers increasing. So they do cover themselves by putting that in there.
Possibly. All right. So,
So 104,000, that's good. Good news, considering it was difficult for us to get vaccines.
yeah,
So it's good.
slowly getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Slowly
We're
getting there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of children in there, a lot of young people not included in this, of course, because they're
Exactly.
not getting vaccinated.
Exactly.
But it does appear that, I don't know, maybe I'm running in the right or the wrong circles, depending on who you ask. But most of the people you come across, if you ask them, they will tell you they are. I don't know if you're having the same experience, Pam, that they are vaccinated or partially vaccinated. Yeah. So, it's the
that's
young
about-
ones we need to work on.
Yeah. If we use a population count of about 381,000, I think that was the last census, then that represents almost 27%, like almost 30% of the population. And I think as we continue to get more doses and people trickle in, I think
Yeah.
we're going in the right direction.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. All right.
Yeah.
So now the other thing that people are worried about is whether the relaxed measures that we're seeing, the extended curfew, the Sunday opening up, whether that may cause an uptick. And our Rachel Scott writing about that in today's National Guardian. PMH Administrator Mary Walker says that while hospitalizations have decreased in recent weeks, she is concerned that recently relaxed COVID mitigation measures could cause an uptick. She said, quote, absolutely, that was our most grave concern, that this is what we would see manifest. And so we're keeping our fingers and toes crossed, and we'll see. The relaxation of the measures comes as the Bahamas appears to be seeing the first signs of reprieve from a brutal surge in cases that has claimed the lives of more than 220 people since July. Walker says that while the recent decline has brought some relief amid a particularly deadly surge in COVID, now is not the time to breathe a sigh of relief. She said, quote, over the last 7 to 10 days, we've not been in the 90s and hitting 100 with the patients, and so we're seeing what we call, and we don't like to call, a little lull, because every time we say that, something happens. And so we're seeing in the 70s and 80s of the patient count now for COVID. We're hoping that's an indication that the Bahamian public are doing their best to follow the guidelines. Now, Walker says the biggest challenge is staff burnout. She says the staff is tired, exhausted, and, quote, we see it and we try to support them as best we can, both from a physical standpoint and a psychological standpoint, because we know they need that as well. But the soldiers are tired. They're tired. Oh, boy. Wow.
I've been saying for a long time, we have to learn to live with COVID. We cannot stay locked up in our homes thinking that this will be over and then we could come out. It just doesn't work like that. You read in your report about New Zealand
Yeah.
and their approach, zero. And I mean, when they had their elections, they didn't wear masks and stuff because there was zero cases in their country. And now they're realizing that that method is just not feasible for the long run. We have to learn to live with COVID. And that means lifting restrictions. That means personal responsibility.
Yep.
And the way you, to me, get that personal responsibility is you enlist organizations to help you. So we do it now. You cannot go into the food store without a mask and without having your hand properly sanitized
Right.
before you get in there, right? And so we do that across the country, continue to do that across the country. Then I think we're moving in the right direction. But we have to learn to live with COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's scary for some people, And those people who cannot do it, then stay inside. Stay inside, don't go out, don't socialize. And then for those who need it, who have to make a living, do it safely.
And are going psychologically insane, so they may need to do that as well. All right, so what do you think of the curfew? Should it be lifted? Do we need to do away with it entirely?
Well, 12 midnight and the police can't stop you. That's ceremonial, like we do a lot of stuff inside here. We just may as well lift it. You could be out until 11:59, but I heard it said that the police cannot stop you if they see you out later than that time.
I don't know if that's true, but I mean, if you are on your way and the traffic was heavier than you thought, and you are 10 minutes after 12, I mean, seriously?
Yeah. It can be lifted, and maybe it will
2 o'clock.
be in November.
It's a different story.
Yeah. No, I just think we have to learn because the world is doing that.
Yeah.
The world is getting back, and we don't want to be left behind trying to play catch up when everybody has their plans in place to move forward.
Yeah.
We need to be looking at the numbers. We need to be looking at all the data and determining how we can do this, how we can do this safely, and be flexible enough that if we have to, tighten here or relax here, we can do that.
Yeah. I do want to get back to something that Dr. Nakia Forbes says, because we get a lot of people who text into this show and call in to say this stuff and bring up names of doctors from God knows where, and people we've never heard of, people they don't know either. But our own people right here in the country telling you it's a certain way. These are the people you normally go to for everything medical. They're telling you this is what they're seeing, that these are people who are in the hospital and dying are not the people who are fully vaccinated. Not the people who are fully vaccinated. Don't worry about what your cousin's friend told you. This is what is happening here. Right? Are we all on the same page? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Give us your views on what's happening here, what we are hearing with these numbers here. All right, let's get to these messages. The numbers are increasing. Where did the text go? The numbers are increasing because Bahamians love their Florida. Well, the numbers are slightly decreasing, but it's been a lot of that. It's been travel. It's been many factors. So we've learned that. We've known that for a year now. Many factors at play here.
And people have been traveling all over the place.
All over the place.
And not only do Bahamians like to go to Florida, but Floridians like to come here too.
Yeah.
So that could be a reason why.
And as you said, more than just Florida. We're in planes, where many people from all over the world have been at the, right? So yeah, it's a lot of that. And a lot of
just like
things.
we are encouraging people to come to the Bahamas to vacation, Bahamians are taking this opportunity, those that can afford it, those that choose to do it, to also go on vacations.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
This text here, I want you to please find out from the Ministry of Health why the rapid antigen tests cases, the positive ones, are not counted in the report. The numbers going down is very misleading. There are many people testing positive from rapid antigen tests but are not being counted in the numbers. We are lying to ourselves if we think the numbers are down. Now, officials have said from the very beginning that we've known this. Whatever you're hearing, you could safely double it to assume that's what's happening with the numbers, right? Yes, they're not included, but what's supposed to happen is after you test positive, you're supposed to take an RT-PCR test. Many people aren't doing that because they say, I'm feeling bad, so I already know, and I'm not paying for that, right? But that is why it's important to isolate and to be in quarantine and to pay attention and be upfront and honest and not go around when you know that you have a positive rapid antigen test.
And see, that is where the free test will come in. To me, right? If you are
Which free test?
Well, the free test that we're about to have.
Which will be what? Which will be what?
What
type of test will it be?
The RT-PCR test.
Oh no,
no.
Oh no.
I think that's where it should come in.
Oh, that's where it should come in.
Right.
But on page 3 of the National Guardian, the government hopes to offer free antigen testing.
No. See, my thing is, if you go and test it positive for your antigen test, many people are not taking the RT-PCR test, which is $100 and something. Now, to me, that is where free testing will be advisable.
Well,
See, because
don't hold
when
your
I
breath.
traveled to the U.S., I was able to go to the sport curative, show my ID. I signed up online, and I took a RT-PCR test free.
Oh. That's not what we're looking at here.
Or the antigen test free. Anybody, from anywhere in the world can take it free. Now, I've always said that. See, it's free to me, but the U.S. government is paying for that test. So I think when you are if you're tested positive for that antigen test, it should be free for you to get the RT-PCR test to confirm whether or not you
If
have
you
it.
test positive,
If you
then
test
it should-
positive.
okay.
Because a lot of persons are not going to cough up $100 and something to pay for that test. And they're going to go about their business. Some will quarantine, and some of them have to work.
All right, so what about this scenario? What if you continue to pay for your rapid antigen test, but if you test positive, you get a free RT-PCR test? How about that?
That's my point. I said that, yeah.
So don't pay. You pay for the rapid antigen test because it is affordable. But if you test positive,
Yeah, because initially you would have to determine if you have it. And I think the antigen test is how much? $30, $25?
sometimes less.
Yeah.
So that one is fine. You're cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, again, the free COVID testing the Davis administration intends to provide will be the antigen test, according to Health Minister
Yeah,
Dr. Michael
because
Darwin.
of all the false positives and false negatives, I don't think, I think it's better to do, because you want to make sure that the person really does have COVID. And because persons probably wouldn't pay that themselves, some persons, I've known persons who haven't.
Yeah.
They just decided to quarantine.
Yeah. Tons of people.
Because they're not going to go pay. And then if you have a family, if someone came into close contact to you and you have let's say a family of 5, are you going to pay for 5 RT-PCR tests?
This is why you can't
No.
celebrate when you hear the numbers are down. Look at because we need, if we had, and we don't, I don't think that's included at all, the number of people who take rapid antigen tests. I think they have the number for RT-PCR tests. And they can do the positivity rate based on that. But if we had the rapid antigen test and you knew what was going on there,
Yeah, but you have to
it'd be
confirm it
frightening.
because that's not reliable.
Right.
It's not reliable. And so the idea is that you would go and take the RT-PCR test if you tested positive with the antigen test. So the number should have already been reflected into the overall number.
Yeah. And there's so many little operations doing these rapid antigen tests.
Yeah.
My goodness. And the horses have all left the stable now. I don't know if they can ever corral them and get a true picture of what's going on there anymore. That texter continues with, Dwight, people, but they should include it, people are not doing the PCR test afterwards. This is a problem. I know of 9 people who tested positive last week using rapid antigen tests. Not one did a PCR test because they were showing signs of illness.
Because that's $100 and something per test.
Can you imagine?
And if you have a family of 5, and according to the CDC, close contact is if you came within 6 feet of somebody with or without a mask, consecutive or non-consecutive. So, for instance, if you and I are sitting 6 feet or less, right? And that's I came out. I went for an hour and I came back and I'm talking to you for another 5 minutes. And, they will, once it adds up to 15 or more minutes, you are considered a close contact.
Yeah.
What I noticed what they're doing now, though, is if you came into close contact with somebody, I guess that's the definition they're using, I'm not sure, then they're not even asking you to take the test.
Yeah,
They're just asking you to quarantine
Right.
for 14 days.
Yep.
I don't like that.
They've been doing that for a while.
Huh?
They've been doing that for a while.
I didn't know it to be like that. No.
You don't need to.
Yeah. No, but I mean, from what I've heard, I didn't know it to be like that because
I think
according
almost a year now we've been talking. They've been
no,
saying
I
this.
thought you had to take a test to once it's close contact because according to the CDC again, because I look at their guidelines, if now you're vaccinated, you don't have to take the test if you're not showing any symptoms. But if you are unvaccinated,
Yeah.
then you quarantine for 14 days without taking the test. And then after that period, I guess for our health officials, they will send a letter to determine that you should come out of quarantine.
That's how it's been.
Oh, I thought I didn't know it to be like that. I thought what would happen was after, if you came into close contact, then you would take a test, a RT-PCR test, and if that was negative, then you go about the way that you're doing it. See, I think the difference with us, and maybe I'm wrong, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, right? And like other countries, is these things are available easily on a website. Maybe they're there. I don't know. I know what we do is
the information.
Yeah, we would send out an executive order and we assume that everybody is reading it. But I think there should be like a website, even under the Ministry of Health. If it's not, maybe it is.
The Ministry of Health has a website.
But clearly that people can get the information.
The Ministry of Health has been directing people to their website. I don't know if it's handy enough, right? But it's there. But yeah, I don't know if it'll answer all the questions that people have. All right, this text here, I just said it, but here we go, boy. What about those people who were healthy and in some cases, died after their first shot? Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay. Let's read what Dr. Forbes said one more time.
In addition, I haven't heard of reports of persons who were healthy and took the first or second dose of the vaccine and then died. And if there were, it's by far few compared to the persons who have died without having any doses of the vaccine.
Texter, please listen. Dr. Nakia Forbes says, quote, when it relates to deaths, our updated information up to September 30th, it's still a similar picture. 95% are unvaccinated people. About 3 to 4% are partially vaccinated, approximately, and we're seeing approximately 1% of fully vaccinated that have died from COVID. Forbes noted that the fully vaccinated people who died had conditions making them immunocompromised. Okay. Here's another text. There was a backyard party in my neighborhood on Saturday. Is that illegal? Were they socially distanced? And,
I think we're at a point, and we're probably there now, where you can mandate the amount of persons. Because I think weddings, are we still on 30 persons? And funerals, 30 persons.
Yeah, but no repass. And I'm not sure about receptions.
I think we're at a point now where we can have functions and just limit the amount of people at the functions, and then you have, enforcement.
Maybe
as much as possible.
They might have been all family. They might have been
all vaccinated.
Right, all vaccinated. So you never know now. What does Pam talk about living with COVID? I interpret what she's saying as let who die, die.
No, I didn't say that.
I think that's what she's saying.
We have to move on. We cannot stay stuck in our homes forever.
They continue. The reasons the restrictions are there is to reduce the contact people person to person as much as possible, to not have our healthcare system overwhelmed. We are not there yet, so this is not the time for relaxing any restrictions.
I think we are past the time for relaxing restrictions. I think what government needs to do is shore up the healthcare system. We have borrowed billions of dollars. We need to shore up the healthcare system to ensure that it can deal with as much of these persons as possible.
Another texter. The issue isn't just learning to live with COVID. Many of our people are still irresponsible in their behaviors, and it's costing our country. Even in countries around the world, they are warning citizens not to let their guards down. But we are seeing a resurgence here and in America.
Yeah, at some point you have to put the onus on the person for personal responsibility. You cannot continue to lock people down and say, well, we are irresponsible. At some point, you have to put the onus on persons, and then you try as much as possible to enforce the rules.
Dwight and Pam, are you watching what's going on in Norway? They've decided to learn to live with COVID. Singapore is doing the same thing. No COVID passport, no lockdowns. I know for me, I feel that our economic life is back since the F&M is gone into the abyss. Okay.
I was always fascinated with what's the country that deviated from the norm I can't remember it right now.
You mean one of the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, what was it?
Was it Sweden? Or was
Sweden,
it-
that's it. I was always fascinated with Sweden's approach. And it seems as if people are now adapting to that.
Yeah, but it backfired on them.
I don't think it did, because when you look at the numbers relative to the world, they're not substantially high. What they did is they compare Sweden to like Norway that had a complete lockdown, of course. Yeah. But now Norway is deciding now, you know what? We need to try to learn to live with this thing.
No, we can't do it for forever.
Exactly.
Right? These are shaping up to be the lost years, 2020 and 2021. My goodness. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. How you doing, Dwight?
Doing well. Good morning.
Yeah, I call in because I want us to sometimes I like to take a stand back and look at the issues holistically. And I think what COVID has taught us and what we really need to look at is our ability, or what we need is more institutions to do data research, analysis, and observation. Because I believe that if we don't have these things in place, we are going to continue to be reactive as opposed to being proactive when it comes to creating policies around these issues. And I think that should really be on the forefront of a lot of Bahamians' minds. We need to be able to gather data and analysis are not governed based on rhetoric and personalities. And if you look at the COVID and the pandemic, a lot of especially with our medical system, the people are so overworked, like you mentioned earlier. I wonder if we do have the capacity to do cohort studies and do different studies to be able to live with it, like Palm said. I'm scared that we are still getting secondhand information that is based on different populations, and it isn't giving us the capacity to be able to make policies now and going into the future. So I think the main thing we need to focus in on right now and be requiring of our government is to create more think tanks, to create more institutions of data analysis, so we can make more informed decisions based on our population. Because there's nowhere we're going to move into the future when we continue to act in accordance to secondhand information or no type of research. And I think that COVID is really teaching us that we truly need that.
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I've said it before on the show, we need to be doing our own research with our individuals, people like myself who mix the vaccines. We don't need to rely on what they find in Europe or in the U.S. Look at the people right here. I'm sure there'd be people like myself who'd be willing to volunteer to be part of a study group to see what happens, and to others who took the vaccine, people who had COVID before and people who didn't, and all those things. We can do our own research on this. And the UB can be involved and many others. Why aren't we doing this? Why are we relying on other countries?
I agree totally.
It's very odd.
We like to talk about the brain drain, and a lot of that is because when these persons get their degrees and they come back home, it's like, well, I don't need you. It's like that professionalism, that expertise. We don't need it.
Yeah.
And so they go where they can find it, as opposed to us developing these institutions that he's talking about, where we can feed data and determine how we make decisions rather than from the seat of our pants, but based on informed information.
We know that our lifestyles are very different from some of the countries that we are quoting, right? So let us look at what happens in this type of environment with the temperatures or the food we eat, the stress levels.
But you know what? Could it be cultural though, in that we don't like to hear the truth. We may have a problem, but we don't really want to deal with that.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with that. Let's continue on as we are going. Could it be that?
It's possible. It is possible. You see the number of people who are quoting strange things that other people outside the country say. The other doctors are saying when the doctor's here telling you a certain thing.
There's a saying, the truth will set you free, but a lot of times we don't want to hear.
We've seen it before when we get extreme criticism from some obscure person.
Yes.
The whole country will rally behind that to defend. But when a Bahamian is telling you this is a problem, people are like, why don't you go shut up? You must be an F&F. You must be a PLP
personally,
or something.
I always try to think, okay, if something is said assess like what is really being said and is it true? I don't have to say it to the public, but is it true? And if it is, even if you don't like where it's coming from, what can you do to improve upon it?
Absolutely.
But then, like I said, sometimes we just don't want to hear the truth.
Seems so. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Are you there? Let's take the other call there. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Godly days is talking away along with Pam and you, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
You know, Pam, you're an intelligent woman. You speak of truth, right? But what I've noticed, right? Everybody are dancing. Here it is. They had established a blueprint whereby they want so much people to be dead. Nobody are talking about that. And they're also
who is they?
Vaccination are not helping.
Who's they?
Say it again?
Who's they? Established who? Who did that?
Those people that's in authority.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Okay.
Because, and Dwight, I don't understand how you don't know that.
I don't understand either.
Say it again?
I don't understand it either. Why don't I know about this?
You should have, what you should be doing, I mean, if I were you, those people that's in authority, try the truth out of them.
When you say persons in authority, you mean in the Bahamas?
Well, the Bahamian people, the people in authority in the Bahamas should know of it.
That there are people who want people dead.
Say it again? Yes.
Okay.
They established a blueprint, and they told you how many people going to die from it. But I just can't remember the amount. I know it's 7. I can't remember if it's 7 million, 70 million, or 7 billion. But I remember it's 7.
Okay.
And it's not 700.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. My goodness. Okay. Let's read some of these messages before we take a break. With all this talk about relaxing restrictions, I've not seen anything about the opening of the straw market. Yeah, that's still in limbo there, right? That is crazy. Another one. I just bought an over-the-counter antigen test at a pharmacy in the U.S. for $25. The kit has 2 tests.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the advantage of countries like the U.S.
How accurate is that going to be?
No, but I mean, he or she's taking it for the purpose that he's required to take it. There are cases when you can take an antigen test, and then there are cases when you need to take the RT-PCR test. So,
okay. This one says, I agree that the rapid antigen test should be free, and the PCR test. But more reading, please. Rapid tests are very good because PCR is so sensitive it'll pick up a dead virus, be it flu, cold, or something you had a few months ago. Yeah, that's irrelevant. Right? The people aren't going forward when they take the rapid antigen test to get the PCR test. So that's what the texter was concerned about, and others have been concerned about, right? People aren't taking the test, and they're not getting counted among the numbers.
Yes. The policy is if you tested positive on the antigen test, you have to follow up with the RT-PCR test, which is more accurate. And that's the problem. Yeah. Many persons aren't taking that next step.
Right. So that's all we're saying.
Because they have to pay for
Whether
it.
They are the dead flu or whatever, right? People who have had COVID aren't supposed to take an RT-PCR test right afterward for weeks, even an antigen test, right? Weeks you're not supposed to take a test again. But people aren't doing it. So how many people have COVID in the country? We can only guesstimate. If vaccinated people's immunity lasts approximately less than a year, how long the travel embargo will be against the unvaccinated to travel to the U.S.? It's less than a month in some cases. So why even talk about it? This one says here, if you're unhealthy, that's on you. Get healthy. I get up every day and exercise. If you don't wish to do so, the same, fine, but I will never be locked down again to save others who don't care. So live with the deaths. We always knew our society was unhealthy. Well, you won't be locked down again. What are you going to do if they do lock us down again?
I don't think we're going to get locked down again. I don't think so, Dwight.
Okay.
I don't think so, Dwight.
This person says you're not considered vaccinated until 21 days after already having both shots. So if you like,
I heard 14.
I guess including the two together.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like you to know if the Bahamas is using the same method. It's 2 weeks after
2 weeks.
your
Mm-hmm.
second dose, you're
Yeah.
considered fully vaccinated.
And I think they're doing a lot of the Pfizer now, and it's only you have to take the doses 3 weeks apart.
4, right.
Yeah, that's why I think that number in terms of total vaccinated is shooting up because the time frame is shorter than as opposed with the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Yeah. This person says here, for that caller who wants us to do our own research, it will not happen. The head of our COVID fight isn't able to tell us if there's natural immunity. If the naturally immune are being hospitalized, we have that data or can extract it from the data we have. They don't want to know what's happening if they're naturally immune.
Yeah, but I
Naturally
think
immune from what? You mean people who had COVID and are... We know that there are people who are getting COVID again, if that's what you mean. So again, the natural immunity from if you had COVID before will not last long.
And research require funding, Dwight. You need funding. You need monies to be allocated for research. And so if there's no funding, then, it'll be difficult for persons to, do the data.
Yeah.
So we need funding for that.
Let's take this call before we take the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all.
Hi, good morning.
Am I mistaken to say that the PLP had a policy of a mandate to do mass testing?
They said free testing.
Free testing, yeah.
I'm not sure. At least people like Anton and other PLP operatives, that was their cry. Oh, we need mass testing. We need mass testing. And quarantine. You see, that thing they get lost.
Well, free testing.
Yeah, and like you said, like you all are saying that all the tests are not free.
No, it's not. And we've been saying that even before. It may be free at the point of the testing, but it's not free. The government is paying for it.
My question is, what has been done since this new government has come into power? What did they promise us new that would deal with would curb the transmission of this disease in the Bahamas that the former government was not doing, other than free CPR tests. Rapid antigen tests.
Well, we will see. We will see.
Well,
we will see.
I think that's just the $1 million question right there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And the thing about funds for anything, our government are in debt because we don't have any funds. That's what the GDP is. Government debt to GDP is about. And I don't see no way, in the U.S. right now, the spending bills the debate on it on one side is about taxing the rich, to take care of the responsibility, the social responsibility specifically, of its people. But we don't seem to be having those conversations in this Bahamas.
We are, but maybe not as widespread as you'd like. But it's happening. It's happening. That text who says he's not going to be locked down again says, I have money, I will leave. Okay. All right, well, good for you. Good for you. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more, including the Senate. That's still a thing? The Senate? Yeah, we still do that here? We can get into that after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
For humanity. COVID-19, COVID-19. Oh, you're such a killing machine. COVID-19.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
AP News, I'm Jackie Quinn. The Supreme Court's new term begins today. For the first time since the pandemic, the justices will hear arguments in the courtroom.
Abortion, gun, and religion are on the agenda today. All justices, except Brett Kavanaugh, will meet in person for arguments. Kavanaugh will participate remotely from his home after testing positive for COVID-19 last week. The court remains closed to the public. Only lawyers involved in cases and reporters who regularly cover the court will be on hand, and anyone not arguing will have to wear a mask. Mike Hemp in Washington.
That major oil spill off Southern California is threatening marine life and scenic beaches. Orange County Supervisor Katrina Foley.
Dead birds, dead fish, especially in our Talbert wetlands area.
She says you can smell the fuel.
You get this taste in your mouth just from the vapors in the air.
Amplify Energy, the Coast Guard, and environmental groups are working to try to clean up the spill. 2 American researchers win a Nobel Prize for medicine.
David Julius and Ardem Pataputian for their discoveries of receptors for temperature and touch.
A whistleblower who worked for Facebook is accusing the company of shutting off safeguards against misinformation to encourage more clicks after Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Facebook denies it. An independent commission says in the past 70 years, there were some 3,000 child abuse cases in the Roman Catholic Church in France. Priests were found to be the primary abusers. Tom Brady won 2 times against the Patriots last night. The Bucks beat the Pats, and Brady topped the all-time passing yards record. Hong Kong market ended 2% lower. This is AP News. 20 years after the 9/11 attacks, the Associated Press looks at the impact on hundreds of Muslim men and their families arrested as special interest detainees. Attorney Rachel Mirapal at the Center for Constitutional Rights filed a lawsuit on their behalf in 2002, trying to preserve their rights.
They were physically beaten and harassed, kept from practicing their religion, locked in solitary confinement, kept from sleeping, just treated as if they were the most dangerous.
She says most of the detainees were ultimately deported, but the 9/11 anniversary for them is a source of pain. Swedish media are reporting artist Lars Vilks, who outraged the Muslim world in 2007 with a sketch of the Prophet Muhammad with a dog's body, died in a car crash. The 75-year-old Vilks had lived under police protection because of death threats. I'm Jackie Quinn, AP News.
It's time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening. Mile Butler Highway seeing some heavy traffic at this hour from Fire Trail Road all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. So that's going to be your northbound lanes there. And traffic's building on Fire Trail eastbound to that roundabout at this hour. Gladstone Road also busy for you just north of Fire Trail up to JFK Drive in the northbound lane. Elsewhere, Carmichael Road, we're seeing some heavy traffic, or building traffic at least, between Gladstone Road and Mile Butler Highway, the eastbound lanes there. And then further east along Blue Hill Road, north of Soldier Road, the northbound lanes, congested there, heading to Independence Drive. And further south, near Carmichael, building traffic between St. Vincent and Carmichael, the northbound lanes. East Street South, just south of the Independence Drive East-West Highway roundabout, you're going to be seeing that heavy traffic in the northbound lanes, and between the roundabout and Robinson Road, northbound to Robinson Road, busy for you. That intersection with East Street and Robinson Road also congested. And we're seeing pockets at some of the major intersections on the island at this hour. That's what we're looking at for now. We'll have another report for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Do you need to insure your vehicle at the best price? With the most options and free installment payments, CG Atlantic agents offer affordable coverage for everyone. Just call 677-6422 to find out how you can protect your vehicle with extra options to keep you covered. Why wait? Call CG Atlantic agents today at 677-6422. visit us online at cgatlanticagents.com or in person at Atlantic House, 2nd Terrace and Collins Avenue. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Unlock your home potential with a home equity loan from RBC and let your greatest asset fund your home improvement and personal projects. Switch your mortgage to RBC today and experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and step-by-step guidance from our team of expert mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan. Reimagine new ways to bank better with RBC.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these tips. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
She is the sweetest looking thing in Nassau town. She got a shape
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Pamela Musgrove on this Monday morning. And let's talk about some politics here. Apparently, some people were concerned. Were people wondering about it? Why the opening of Parliament is going to be at Bahamar? You think?
Yeah. I
People
wondered
questioning
about
that?
Yeah.
So they issued a statement about this over the weekend. A statement on the state opening of Parliament at Bahamar Convention Center. Now, it says the order of prorogation issued on August 18th, 2021 calls for the House of Assembly to resume on Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. While historically the opening of Parliament is held in Rawson and Parliament Squares, we wish to advise that the government's steering committee for the opening of Parliament has recommended that this year's opening be relocated indoors for the following reasons. One, the threat of adverse weather following consultation with the Department of Meteorology. And there is a wave. We mentioned it. You'll hear more about it in the weather coming up in a few minutes. There is a wave that's very close. It's parallel to the country and moving north.
So we expect to have some rain on Wednesday.
It could be. Wait, and it's the rainy season. It's the rainy season in the Bahamas. September, it was October now. It's a very wet month, right?
Okay. I thought May was a very
wet. We got many wet months. many wet months. And even in the dry months, if a cold front comes in, it gets wet.
I'm glad that we're relying on the weather now.
That's important.
More. Yes.
And people are getting all dolled up. You cannot get them drenched in their fancy clothes. No. Anyway, number 2, active demolition of the Churchill building. And that's serious. 3, space for seating limitations for the square due to social distancing protocols.
Well, that just means you have to ask less people to attend.
How dare you, Pam?
Yeah.
What? You gotta see my second cousin get
Well, then
sworn in.
it goes back to the case about should I have a backyard party? There's nothing wrong with that. If you're going to have all of those persons in a closed-in area, then go have your backyard party.
Well. Now, they go on to say, it has therefore been determined that the opening of Parliament will be held at the Bahamar Convention Center on Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. Owing to the previously stated rationale, we are satisfied that this decision will allow for the execution of the event in a manner that is representative of the opening of the House of Assembly. We are further satisfied that all COVID-19 health and safety protocols will be executed to standard. The government of the Bahamas is ready to get to work, and we invite all Bahamians to follow the proceedings on television, radio, or by live stream and hear firsthand the legislative priorities of the Davis-led administration. And that's coming from the office of the Prime Minister.
Well, it has been very humid lately, and you don't want to go outside with, all dressed up. That can ruin you.
And hairstyles too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't get a fresh press out.
And all that
it's
makeup
gone.
running down that gown.
Yes. Yes.
Not cute, as they say.
So I understand.
Yeah, man.
I understand.
And then, of course, Bahamar symbolically for now the PLP. That
it'll be interesting how much they're paying for that.
You think they're paying?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be interesting.
I mean, this.
What's the tab for that?
The party that helped to birth this dream. You can't do that for your boy?
No.
Oh.
No. These are difficult times.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It'll be good to find out. Maybe we'll get some reporters to ask them. Is that going to be a cost? A cost to do this. Okay. So let's see if we can quickly talk about this before we break for the news. So the Senate picks have been revealed. According to a number of documents that have been going around over the weekend, 8 defeated candidates to sit in the upper chamber. 4 unsuccessful PLP general election candidates will be among the 16 new senators. Terrell Young, who was the candidate for Long Island, James Roll Turner, the candidate for East Grand Bahama, Kirkland Russell, who ran for Central Grand Bahama, Ronald Duncan, who ran for Killarney, will all serve in the Senate, according to a memo from Secretary to the Cabinet Nicole Campbell to Secretary of the Governor General Jack Thompson. The PLP's defeated candidate in St. Barnabas, Michael Halkitis, who was recently sworn in as Minister of Economic Affairs, and Ryan Pinder, the new Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, were previously named to the Senate. right? And then there were the 3 who were appointed in consultation with the opposition leader, who is still Hubert Minnis. Yeah, right. Yeah. Those 3 are going to be Attorney Lachelle Adderley, PLP Young Liberals Chairman Barry Griffin, and PLP National Vice Chairman Quinton Lightbourne. Yeah? All right. And they're being appointed by the Governor General on the advice of the Prime Minister. The memo for Thompson also revealed that former Bahamas Consul General to Atlanta, Randy Roll, Attorney Darren Pickstock, and Professor Dr. Reese Hepburn are being appointed. Oh, no, those are the ones appointed in consultation with the leader of the opposition. Those other 3 were the ones who didn't run, who are also going to be serving. Okay. So there you go. And then on the F&M side, the Nassau Guardian understands that former Minister of Foreign Affairs Darren Henfield and former High Commissioner to CARICOM Reuben Ramming, who served as F&M MPs from 2017 to 2021, are also being appointed to the Senate. Henfield and Ramming were unsuccessful in their re-election bids last month. Maxine Seymour, a communications specialist who ran unsuccessfully as a candidate for Sea Breeze for the F&M, is also being named to the Senate, according to party sources with intimate knowledge of the decision. The 4th opposition F&M senator will be Vienna Gardner, who served as the chief operating officer for the Prime Minister's delivery unit under the Min's administration, according to our reports. All right. So, we're going to break for news. You can text us, tweet us, Facebook us, tell us what you think of those picks and whether you care. The Senate, the rubber stamp for the lower chamber, and still no reforms on the horizon, it seems.
Maybe just to get their feet wet. Those who want to eventually get into Parliament.
Yeah, the complete opposite of what the Senate was designed to be.
Yeah.
The place for the elder statespeople who had some experience and knew things, but now it's training grounds.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Morning Blend. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got deep layer troughing along with a tropical wave that is triggering unsettled weather across the Bahamas, while high pressure will maintain a moderate to fresh breeze over the archipelago. So for the northwest and central Bahamas today, we're looking at variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. For the southeast Bahamas, look for cloudy to overcast, warm, and breezy conditions with scattered showers and widely scattered thunderstorms, heavy at times through tonight. Small craft should exercise caution. We're looking at highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, deep troughing will slowly drift northeast or northwestward through the islands through the middle of the week. Meanwhile, sea swells will subside along easterly shorelines. So for tomorrow, Tuesday, partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid with scattered showers and widely scattered thunderstorms. Wednesday, partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid with scattered showers and widely scattered thunderstorms. In the tropics, we're watching that area of disorganized cloudiness and showers associated with a tropical wave across the southeast Bahamas now. It has a 20% chance of formation through the next 5 days. That's right there. We're watching that system closely for any development. And elsewhere in the tropics, Sam and Victor. Hurricane Sam is north of the Gulf Stream and expected to weaken soon. As of 5 o'clock, it was 465 miles south-southeast of Cape Race in Newfoundland. Sam's moving towards the northeast at 30 miles per hour. No threat to anybody, heading up way up north and expected to transition into a powerful post-tropical cyclone by early tomorrow. Then there is Victor, now a depression and expected to vanish later today. Victor, just about 1,330 miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands, staying out there to sea. Victor seeing winds now decreased to about 30 miles per hour. Further weakening is forecast, and Victor is expected to dissipate by Tuesday after becoming a remnant low later today. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. We're seeing some heavy traffic in many spots this morning, so a challenging commute ahead of for many of you. Gladstone Road, very busy from just north of Fire Trail all the way up to JFK Drive. Milo Butler Highway also busy this morning. It's moved up a bit, though, so you won't hit that traffic if you're heading northbound till you get closer to Harold Pond. So it's moved a ways from Fire Trail, it appears, but still congested there. It's backed up on Tony Williams-Darling Highway, westbound to that roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic from Cowpen Road all the way up to Independence Drive, especially as you get near to St. Vincent Road and Carmichael Road and north of Soldier Road. That's for the northbound lanes mainly there. And then back to belong Independence Drive as well, westbound to the roundabout with Milo Butler, with Blue Hill Road. And we're seeing Carmichael Road westbound, traffic building there as you head to Coral Harbor Road. West Bay Street near Arawaki and Nassau Street, eastbound lanes there heading into downtown Nassau. Eastern Road, west of Foxer Road up to near Johnson Road, the heavy traffic in the westbound lanes. And then the major intersections like Blue Hill, like Bernard, Wolf Road, Village Road, and Soldier Road, that intersection looking busy for you. And Prince Charles and Foxhill Road, Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue. And Soldier Road, Robinson and Prince Charles, and Robinson and Old Trail. Those are the hot spots along with Wolf and Marathon for you this morning. Lots of hot areas there for you. Keep that in mind as you make your way about the streets. Patience will be needed. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Watch this. Jump in my ride. Go to
Jump out the ride, to buy one stamp. Put that stamp on the letter. Send a letter to the one I love. God, tell me, who do you love? I tell you, I love nobody. Chicago, connect to Juplum. Gal, where you coming from?
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about National Breastfeeding Week and the push for men to get involved. And we'll find out exactly what that means coming up in just a few minutes. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're talking with the Central Bank about the new $100 bill with the late Arthur D. Hanna on it, and about their Get Money Smart video essay competition. That's coming up. But we continue with what's in the news. We were talking about the Senate picks before the break. We can get your reaction to that. You can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. We quickly got in before the break the F&Ms who are, is it reported to, based on sources, well-placed sources, to be up for those posts. Darren Henfield, Reuben Ramming, Maxine Seymour, and Vienna Gardner. And the senators are expected to receive their instruments of appointment from the Governor General today. So we'll know for sure today. But, yeah. And it seems that those were picked by the opposition leader.
Yeah.
That's how it normally works, right? And that is Hubert Minnis, the former Prime Minister.
I personally not sure that. I think one of the reasons why the F&M lost because they became out of touch. They became out of touch with the electorate. And I think by keeping Dr. Minnis on shows that they are further out of touch. I think the focus after the election should have been on why did this happen? How did this happen? Mm-hmm. And I think by retaining Dr. Minnis, they are not dealing with that.
Mm. Well, they say next month will be it when they have convention. Is that too late?
This period should be about how did you go from such a large majority to the number that you got?
Yeah.
It should be, introspection. What went wrong? And they will find out a lot of things. The main focus or the main issue was leadership. So by keeping him on, it tells me that they don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
They're acting as if nothing happened. And I think that's a mistake.
So
because
next month, what would you want to see besides a new leader? What do they need to do? They need to do what the PLP did and go and hire consultants to tell them what went wrong.
See, the consultant thing, we make fun of it because we saw, with the PLP, it was the leader, right? And then we saw...
it was a lot more than that.
Well, generally speaking, it was. But people generally saw that you know what? You should have changed your leader, right? And that's generally speaking what is the case, I believe, with Dr. Minnis. But there's some other stuff that an expert consultant can get in there and say, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. Maybe stuff that wasn't even visible to the public, but behind the scenes, because it's not operating properly, it's causing them defeat.
Well, the public could also tell them. And they get a 95% clear picture of what went wrong. And I think people were telling
No,
them.
I agree totally. But there's some other stuff in operations, like how things are done behind the scene that probably contribute,
to
what happened.
Those weird party constitutions don't help. And
but that's my point. There's some
right.
things that we probably don't see. Sometimes they say your sickness starts from inside, and when it's visible on the outside is when you really exactly.
Yeah.
So there's some things that be going on inside that we probably wouldn't see or notice that they probably need some advice on.
Yeah.
And they said a prophet is never accepted in his own home, so they probably wouldn't take it from Bahamians. They'd have to take it from foreign, because if it comes from foreign, then it means that, Yeah. But I just think this time, like the Senate picks and the cabinet ministers, it should be done by the future leader and not having him here making these decisions It's just tell me they're having a hard time breaking free.
But at any point in the future, that new leader can swap out some of the
Yeah, but
folks.
I mean, the what I find from Bahamians is Bahamians don't like that adversarial side to politics. Actually, that should be hid. You can have those knife wars, political knife wars behind the scene, but when that spills out into the public, it makes you look bad. And so for them to make this pick of senators, and then in the next 2 months, you're saying, okay, now I'm moving you out and putting my people in, I don't think it will look good. They just as well had an interim leader,
right?
Not Dr. Minnis, and then, go to convention and decide who they wanted to lead them. But at this time, it should be about why did we suffer such a humiliating defeat? And what needs to happen within the organization to fix it. And I think by doing this, they're avoiding that.
Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say, folks. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight and Tom. How are you this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
You are 1,000% absolutely correct. This is the time the FNM should take an introspective on the reflection on their leader and on the entire party at this time. And if you guys listen to the news this morning, a former cabinet minister called the new prime minister the new Haitian president. That there is total disrespect of Elso Johnson, who was also assistant as a foreign affairs. What his position was? Attorney General, right?
He was immigration minister.
Right. But that is total disrespect, okay? Because what he's doing, he lives right opposite where he lives is a major Haitian village. But he's going to call the now new prime minister of Bahamas the new Haitian president.
Well,
we
didn't
to do something about immigration right at his doorstep. That is totally disrespectful.
Okay.
But I think what Palm is saying, they should not allow Dr. Minnis to go choose these new senators, because guess what? It's a reflection on the party itself. Dr. Minnis' time is over. Okay, his time is up. You understand? You realize the PLP candidate for Kalani was the first one in almost 15 years that came back close to Dr. Minnis. Everybody else, Dr. Minnis had beaten them by thousands of points. This time, Dr. Minnis barely won a seat by 500 plus votes. Okay, so they need to have a reflection on who is Dr. Minnis. Why do we still need Dr. Minnis to take us into this next convention? Okay.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Let's take these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes. I'm calling concerning something that your guest said. In the Bahamas, we know for the last 5 years, we are changing administration after administration. And we know the remedy for that was... Good morning, sir. How you doing? Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Like I was saying to your guest, for the last 5 years, last 5 times, you are changing administration after administration. So what is going to be different this time? Only thing we're going to do again is vote one government out and vote the next one in.
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily.
No.
So
Doesn't
you
have
have to
to
do
be
the
like that.
introspection for that?
No, see,
No.
that's the problem right there. You're thinking that Bahamians just naturally want to change a government. They are voting a government out because they're so disgusted with that government at that point. Now, if they get a government that is operating on their behalf and doing well as it relates to the economy and even on their personality, if they feel
part of it.
exactly, if they feel good about that person and their
But I don't
personality,
see that happening because the thing is, whenever you have a landslide victory like how the FNM had, the PLP had, remember, and you're talking about how the FNM lost by so much. Remember, the FNM never lost by 4. The PLP, when they lost, the 2 times they lost, they only win 4 seats. The FNM never only win by 4 40. They win by
I
7.
mean,
and
that's
they
a
lose by 7
comfort.
or more.
They
So
have
never
had
lose
much
that
worse.
bad.
There was a time they weren't even the official opposition. They
Yeah,
have
but
had
we talk
much
about
worse.
since 92 now.
Yeah, but I mean, while you were bringing it up, I mean,
No, the reason
they've
I'm
had
saying
terrible
is-
losses.
No, but I'm saying it because Palm pointed out that losing by so much. The PLP lose only went 40, but yet they are the government by a landslide.
Well, in the last time they lost, they had far more votes than the F&M got this time,
and,
right?
And even talking about votes, they basically get the same amount of votes that they got last election when they lost.
No, 59,000. Mr. Christie he lost with 59,000, and Davis has 66,000.
So in essence, we know what our problem is again. But we're going to do that. We're going to change leadership
No, not necessarily.
in November.
See, this is the problem right there, right? And so, thanks, caller. This is the problem. Some people are not realizing that you deserve to get beat, right? And you can say, well, that's just what we do. That's what we do. No, that's not all. Some people may do that. But some of you were disgraceful and needed to go.
Remember-
And so do not say, well, that's what happens. It's a swing. We can't do anything about it.
Remember what I said earlier about the truth?
Yeah.
Sometimes some
Yeah, you
people
are-
do not want to know
That's
the
unfortunate.
truth. And so it allows them. I think that the problem I see with the F&M party, it's shaped its party to be in opposition to the PLP itself. Like you hear a person saying, oh, the PLP is this and the PLP is that. That is a flawed strategy. It's
didn't work
supposed to
this
be
time.
about the policy that you bring to the table to advance Bahamians and not to have your party about, oh, the PLP is evil or the PLP is bad. No.
And I said it last week on the show that some people are going to be all hurted by the fact that we all got voted out. So it was just a swing thing. But no.
The F&M was not able to get their base out.
Yeah.
Go and find out why didn't your base support you. And then you can fix that if you choose to.
Possibly.
To make yourself more viable the next time around. But if you reject that and if you just continue to focus on what you're focusing now and having the person that led you into that election that caused you to suffer that defeat to remain there, then it tells me that you are still out of touch
Can you imagine
with the Bahamian people.
if you go by what the caller is saying, that some are going to be sitting back like, oh, we don't have to do anything. We don't even have to have a policy statement because we will just be voted in 5 years. Oh, well, let's just sit back and watch the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then this is the time to show some folks, Bahamian people, that they cannot take us for granted like that. Absolutely. You need to work for this. You need to work for our support.
And what I think people should see is the voter going lower and lower. It was lower even when Dr. Minnis slightly lower when the F&M won in 2017. It's gone all the way down, and then so people are going to be less motivated to come out to vote, and that can change the election in ways that nobody could even imagine.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a break. We're going to be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Best rate, no delays. Best rate, no delays.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. Fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delays.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Drive home happiness with RBC Financing affordable packages. Experience the RBC difference with up to 100% financing, extended repayment terms, and step-by-step guidance from a team of mobile experts. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/autoloan. Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these steps. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Pamela Musgrove. I know you all want to talk more politics, but hey, we got to talk about some other things and the next generation of politics. They're going to need to have the right building blocks in order to function properly, right? And our guests say the building blocks is breast milk.
Starts with breastfeeding.
Breast milk. That's right.
Mhm.
So breastfeeding, it is National Breastfeeding Week, I think. Is it this week or is it coming up? Our guests will tell us. Trinika Hall and Ampusam Simonet are here with us. Good morning, ladies. Great to have you back with us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. We have a third guest as well? Just two. Okay. So this is National Breastfeeding Week. Is that right?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Now, we know we had you all on a few weeks back, but that was World
Breastfeeding Week.
Okay. All right. So this is a lot, but this is great. Now we know that the focus this year is on the men. That's very interesting. Tell us about that. How and explain that to us.
Well, first of all, I would like to say the theme this year is breastfeeding. Okay, protect breastfeeding, a shared responsibility. So that carries over with us dealing with the Bahamas National Breastfeeding Week. And we want to focus in now on the men, on the fathers, as this is a shared responsibility. We want our people to know that the men are a key component in this breastfeeding thing. We need to involve the men as much as possible. It's not just about mother and baby. Ms. Ampusam, what would you like to say?
We want to look at the bigger picture. As I said, the largest circle. The mother is a very important person in this successful breastfeeding, but there are other people in the parameters that have to work in order to bring this paradigm shift, that there is a mindset that promotes breastfeeding and take the responsibility seriously, which means that we have to look at, as she said, fathers and the relatives, the grandparents, the caregivers, the community, the church, the decision makers, the policy makers, and the government. They all have to play a role from top down if they realize that this is the most important thing that we need to do for a healthy future of our nation.
Yeah. So what are we seeing now? Is it the hit or miss, laid back? What type of attitude do you generally see from fathers as it relates to breastfeeding?
Well, we are seeing some favorable responses from some fathers, but we still are having some, how I should say, some flack from some.
Really?
Because of lack of information and knowledge. They think every baby should just get formula because they see it on the TV. They hear it from their father. They hear it from their mother. So they just believe formula feeding is the way to go, you know? But I am coming to a conclusion that there are many more educated men out there. They are on the internet. They are learning what is best for their babies, and they want to get this thing right.
So you're saying fathers are discouraging mothers from breastfeeding, or what are they doing?
We did a survey in the Bahamas or in New Providence recently, and it just was finished around in July. And there was a small percentage of, I think it was two point something percent of the men who didn't want their wives to breastfeed.
Really?
I don't know. We didn't find out why they didn't want to breastfeed, but that's what the women who filled out the surveys stated, that they wanted them not to breastfeed or to stop breastfeeding.
So 98% wanted them to breastfeed, and 2% didn't want them to?
Yes.
That's good.
But that's odd.
But that's
Don't
according
want.
to from the survey, from
Yeah.
what was stated in the survey. They had other reasons why they weren't breastfeeding now. Some men outrightly said they wanted them to stop. Then there were other reasons why they didn't stop. You understand? Yeah.
If I can interject, the reason sometimes is the women have to go back to work. And I think we have to fight for extended period for maternity leave, maybe 6 months. That is something that will help a mother to adhere to the WHO mandate. Feed your baby exclusively for 6 months.
Now, I know there are other countries that do that, but my goodness, that would
what
get
I'm saying is,
a very strong
initially
reaction here.
In the 74, when Mr. Pinling created the national insurance, I had just started working, but I already had my babies. There was 6 weeks maternity leave.
Wow.
And then the next administration came along and they accepted the 13 weeks, which is good because they realized the importance of it, because we signed the Energetic Declaration in 1990, I believe. And the fact that it asked for making breastfeeding conducive for the mothers to be able to do it. So we as a society must be receptive to this great promotion. We have to help our mothers. And I know it's a difficult thing because it affects our social, economic factor. But if our mothers have healthy babies, they won't stay home that much. They'll work better at work. The employee has a satisfied employee. And therefore, the goose that lays the golden egg continues to lay the golden egg because you're taking care of her. Am I making sense?
You are. I
You
just
are.
don't know if the business people, the business community is going to be very open to that. But we do know in other countries, especially Scandinavian countries, European countries, they do offer.
Canada.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
they're offering that. So it is definitely something we'll have to
I think
discuss.
Canada offers parental leave. They also
Yeah,
have
1 year.
Yeah, and I think it can be shared with
Yeah.
parents.
You can alternate it or
But
something, right?
Canada, they tax. They have a high, and so they're able to afford some of these benefits because of the level of taxation.
But ladies, you'll
in their
say
country.
it's worth it. It is worth it. You see the benefits every day from
I
this.
want to share something with you all. Yesterday, we went to Bahamas Faith Ministries as to worship as a group because, my president is in Abaco. Therefore, those of us who are left here, we say we have to pray so that our work carries on despite the fact that our physical presence is not here. And I thought God has to be included in this equation. Feeling very overwhelmed, I walked into the that is not my church. I just walked into it. And we didn't even call to, make a booking. As I walked out, it was yellow flowers. Yellow flowers is an indication that it's midwife's color, And then all the little children in the choir had little yellow bow on their forehead. And I say, wow, that is like a sign for me because that bow is the, Miss Trinica, can I explain what?
Yes, I will.
It's a golden
Yes.
standard for breast milk. And everything that was happening was telling me that we have a purpose. We have to fight for this campaign. We have to continue because every day a new baby is born. Every day a new father is created. Every day a new mother, whether she's a first-time mother, second-time mother, or fourth-time mother, she's a new mother for that particular baby. So the needs of that baby is different. And not only that, there was another interesting thing. The whole service was children, and it made me feel so good because There were lead singers, lead sermonette by 3 of those young children. And the fact that they were all breastfed, you know how gratifying it is to hear that God is showing you that
Amen.
hey, have to continue working for these little children. They are our future. They are our future prime ministers, the future lawyers, future attorney generals. And I cannot, let me let Ms. Trinica
So, based on your survey, right, what percentage of mothers breastfed? Based on the
Well,
survey.
then, exclusively now, how we did the survey, they asked them how much baby is breastfed for the first. Then we went into the 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, then 12 months, and up to 1 year or so. And the percentages varied. Now, for the first month, most women breastfeed, and we had at least 62%, I believe it was. I have to look on my chart. Okay, but we realized from the survey, what we did, that as the time went on,
It lessened.
it got less and less, that less women were breastfeeding. By the time they reached 6 months, it was down to, I have it here, it was down to, I'm looking for it, it was down to 30, no, that isn't the one, that's about bottle feeding. It was down to, why can't I find it? I mean,
But
it
down
was
significantly.
Down,
Down significantly.
it was down significantly. So we have realized that once these women know that they have to go back to work, after 1 month, after that maternity leave has been expired, we realized that the women decide in their mind, hey, I'm going to get formula because my boss ain't going to allow me to get off to go and breastfeed my baby.
Okay.
So you could have said, yes, it's not as easy being a working mom and having to go and breastfeed your baby, go on breaks, pump, and all of that, and then come back to work. Some
All right, so-
bosses are not favorable with that.
So let's talk some
they
more
just
about
decide,
what
Yeah.
the men can do to help, the fathers and also maybe the bosses, what men can do to
yes,
help in
the
this regard.
fathers can do so much.
Mhm.
Number one, they can support while they're on maternity leave. If they can get paternity leave, that would be good to assist their wife or their significant
But
other.
we don't have that in our, do we have that in our labor laws? I
think you can
One-
get
one-
a
one
week
week,
off.
a
week
1
off.
week, yeah.
1 week?
Yes, 1 week.
1 week.
You know, yeah, they could get that, or they can hire someone to assist their wife or significant other, or they can also ask their relative who is off or not working to assist the mother. They burping the baby, they can help with feeding and not feeding, but feeding the mother, making sure they cook and clean and do other things for the mother while she does the breastfeeding from the breast. Okay. And of course, once the mother starts pumping milk, she can cup feed the baby and the daddy can help with the cup feeding. You see, the dad can do so many things to support the mother and helping around the house by doing things where it would be so much for her if she still has to breastfeed and still wash, cook, clean, and do all of the other things.
And a good tip for the guys is to help with that all the time, whether there's breastfeeding or not.
But
Right?
once if you don't have any children and you're not breastfeeding, they expect a woman to do all of those, go on the job and work.
Okay, so
They
what
just say,
percentage-
I'll bring home the bacon, I'll bring home the money, and you clean the house and you do everything else in the house.
Okay, so what percentage of the females that were on your survey were single mothers, like where the father did not live with the mother? So if that's the case, then that would be a
was
bit.
not addressed in the survey.
Okay.
We dealt with more of some other things. We were dealing more with some other issues. We were trying to deal with the barriers and with the breastfeeding and the mother. So that was not one of the issues we dealt with.
Because if
We
daddy is
dealt
not in the
with-
same house, a lot of these things that you're saying can be a little bit difficult.
Big problem. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
it can. So you just have to, I think the fathers have to really do more and assist them as much as possible to make some women, I remember, they may be on their job and maybe their husband works late shift. or actually night duty, or their husband stays at home. They bring the baby to the mother on her job. She breastfeeds the baby, and and he carries the child back home. You understand? It's little things that dads can do that can make life easier for the transition with the breastfeeding and the working mom.
So
it can be done.
What would you say is the mandatory amount of time that a child needs to be breastfed in order to develop 6 months?
6 months.
6 months.
Exclusively.
Okay.
Exclusively. Only human milk should be given to the baby at this time. From the baby comes out of the mother's womb till the baby is 6 months, only human milk. No water, no bottles, no pacifiers.
Not even pacifiers.
No cereal, no juice, no water. Only human milk should be given to the 6 months of life.
And so for those ladies that have to go back to work, expressing their milk, can that work?
Of course. Invest. I always tell the women, invest in an excellent breast pump. The Mandela line is very good that I know about. It's very good. And there are other excellent lines out there. But I've proven that this line works very well. It's more on the expensive side or the pricey side, but it works well. Invest in a good pump. And after at least 2 weeks of your establishing breastfeeding, meaning you be putting that baby on the breast regularly so your milk supply can be bumped up. And after that, you can focus on pumping milk. Okay? After that first to second week, then you could worry about pumping breast milk.
Right.
But don't hurt your head too much about pumping and storing. You have more weeks to deal with a lot of pumping till you really establish your milk flow.
I know some mothers have discomfort, tenderness around their breasts, so they just don't want to go through that. What do you say to those mothers?
I think one of the things is how we attach the baby to the breast. This is the nipple. The nipple, the tip part of it is where the milk has an exodus, an opening. The collection of milk is behind this nipple. So the baby's mouth has to go over there so you can squeeze the collecting tubules properly. The more it creates a vacuum, the more the milk will come down. If I want water, I need to turn the tap on. If I want milk to come, the baby must suckle at the breast so that there is a let down, emptying of the breast, and then the more it empties, the more oxytocin is released. They are the two very important hormones that help the process of breastfeeding. One brings the milk down for production of the milk, the prolactin from the anterior pituitary gland, and the oxytocin from the posterior pituitary gland causes the womb as well as the milk ducts to contract so that the milk can come out. One thing I was supposed to add just now when Ms. Hall was speaking, if a mother is not relaxed, stressed about the housework and trying to do this and that, the prolactin level subsides and we need that. So she must be a relaxed mother. She doesn't need a mother-in-law who come and say, why you don't give the baby breast milk? Or a mother say, why the baby crying? All of those negative things we need to, the husband must stand up and say, the baby's going to be breastfed, mama. Just help her. So he have to advocate for that so that she will feel like all the relatives who are or friends who are saying negative things about breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Another thing is something I forgot already.
All right, we're running out of time, but how can people get more information? What are some of the resources out there? We've got about 30 seconds. Tell us about where we can reach out to you ladies or find out more information.
Yes, you can call me at 806-8314, or you can call Ms. Ampusam. You can give them your number, Ampusam.
393-6490, 421-4173. As I said, with the COVID thing, we'll do online. We do that online because of the social distancing. But in fact, I just finished talking to a mother who was in need of help. And I was able to do it online because the Zoom was providing me the opportunity to do it. And when I hear a mother is in trouble, we cannot leave it. It hurts my heart that we have to help them. And we try to help them as much as possible. And that is what we are here for, to make sure our mothers are the right baby, the right time. And that is the right thing to do as a nation. We need a baby-friendly nation, a baby mother-friendly nation that recognizes the importance of breastfeeding for the wealth of this nation.
Okay.
And I hope all of the people in charge, from governance down to the little children, recognize the importance of breastfeeding.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much,
Mr. Dwight.
ladies. We really appreciate it. Nurses Trinica Hall and Happy Sam Simonet, thank you all very much. Great information. Happy National Breastfeeding
and
Week.
I also want to say, Mr. Dwight, we thank the media. Media plays a very important part in the success of our breastfeeding. You all have been awesome. All of you. You have supported us because you believe in it. And hopefully we will continue this partnership to make sure that our Bahamas becomes a baby-friendly Bahamas,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's our pleasure. Thank you again, Trinica Hall. And
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.
We're going to take a
Thank you.
break for news. When we come back, we've got the drawing for the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle, and we've got Morning Business. A lot more to come this morning. Stay with us.
You'll have a western groove. She say, watch me when I dance. Watch me as
You
I
invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
At Wendy's, our food is made to make you crave. Crave our all-new Big Bacon Cheddar Burger. This melt-in-your-mouth sandwich is what cheesy bacon dreams are made of. It starts with your choice of fresh, never-frozen beef or a chicken patty topped with American cheese, applewood smoked bacon, baked and creamy cheddar cheese spread on an all-toasted cheddar bun. Available for a limited time only. Stop in today for that flavor you crave. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
That's pretty good, Pam? A 2-night stay at Atlantis. And then the second prize is a 1-year supply of Dasani water.
Wow.
Hey, man, never go thirsty again.
Yeah.
Okay, great prizes there. So who will be the winners today? Let's see. All right, we'll do the water first. How about that? Yep. All right. So the second prize, a 1-year supply of Dasani water.
That's good.
The winner for this, I hope I pronounced this right, Stacia Fraser. Stacia. That's how you say it? Yeah. Stacia Fraser, Fraser. You are the winner of a 1-year supply of Dasani water. Hope you have space
That's
for all
awesome.
that.
That's awesome.
A lot. Or maybe you'll just get it continuously.
Yes.
You come back in and you get more. Okay, not the whole big giant. Okay, right. Congratulations, Stacia Fraser. 1-year supply of Dasani water. All right. And then the big prize, a 2-night stay at Atlantis. Definitely going to get this wrong. Yeah? Okay. Okay, the winner is, I'm going to have to spell the last name, Margaret Nwankwo?
Just spell it out.
Nwankwo.
Okay.
Margaret N. Yeah, you've won. Congratulations. A 2-night stay at
Congratulations,
Atlantis.
Margaret and Stacia.
Yeah, the U.S. Embassy is going to be in contact with you. U.S. Embassy, thank you so much for this wonderful initiative, the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And if you are vaccinated or even partially vaccinated, all you have to do is register at vaxbahamas.com, vaxbahamas.com, and you could be eligible. You will be eligible to win these prizes, and we draw them every day.
And you only put your name in there once. You don't have to
Yeah, you
re-enter
need to
it.
do it over and
Okay.
over. I don't think so. No.
Mhm.
And some great prizes and more to come for the remainder of the week at least. And congratulations again. Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break and be back with Morning Blend Business. We're going to be talking with the Central Bank about the new $100 bill and the Get Money Smart video essay competition. A lot to get to. Stay with us.
Come on now.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, October 4th, 2021. Good morning again to our Morning Blend listeners. I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Pamela Musgrove. This morning, we are talking about two special initiatives with the Central Bank. They've got a couple of exciting things happening. First off, we begin with the new $100 banknote, which will be launched this week. It's part of the CRISP evolution. And here to tell us all about this, we are very pleased to have back with us the manager of the Currency Department, Jermaine Campbell. Jermaine Campbell, good morning. Welcome to Morning Blend Business.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning.
All right. So this is, I think it's Wednesday, is the launch for the new $100 bill?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Great. Let's talk about it. We know this was going to be history-making. This was going to be the first of the currency, the first paper currency to feature a living individual. Tell us about that, how that came about.
Well, I mean, for the central bank, we've always tried to be to push the envelope in terms of innovation and creativity. And as you would have indicated, this would have been the first instance in which we would have placed a live or a living national hero or nation builder on the banknote. All of the previous would have, the criteria would have been that they would have had to at least been deceased and make some valuable contribution to the nation. So we're slightly disappointed, but I guess we still move on. The intent still remains the same in terms of celebrating some of our nation builders.
Right.
What's the process for determining who would be on the bill and the color of the bill?
Okay, so in terms of who's placed on the banknote there, and we've heard it before, but there's so many Bahamians who've contributed in the civics, the arts, religion, politics, business, any one of whom is really eligible. And so at the end of the day, the central bank may, in certain instances, make a recommendation to cabinet, providing a list of would-be individuals. And once that final decision does come from cabinet, but once satisfied, then we proceed in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you go to the U.S. and they have the green notes, right? It stays green, and then you go to some countries and the color remains the same. So what's the basis for us determining, okay, it's going to be a blue marlin or grayish, like, is there any policy behind that, or we just, it doesn't matter? We could have a pink one in the next few years.
Yeah, so historically, we've from even before the central bank, 1966, under the Bahamas government, and then Bahamas Monetary Authority, we've had colored tan notes, similar to many of the other Caribbean islands. In terms of the colors, when we look at the palette scheme available, there's some colors that we will certainly place on banknotes and others that we won't. So there's some that we can move to and others we won't ever bother with. And then for us, it's just a matter of ensuring that the suite of banknotes, so our half straight to the 100, they look like a family of banknotes, while at the same time trying to keep different enough so that there's, the public doesn't confuse one for the other.
Yeah, it is getting a little more difficult with some of the notes. But tell us about that. Are we likely to see what Pam, I guess, mentioned there, with where the notes are all similar? You just have to pay attention to the denomination written on it. Are we likely to be there? Is that the direction we're heading in?
No, it's not likely. Okay. It's not likely we'll get there.
Are we likely to have like a $20 bill would be the same color no matter if we change the face of it?
Yes.
Okay,
so
I think that's better, because I think, we used to the $100 blue marlin, and then you have this tan color thing, changing it up, it could be confusing sometimes.
Right. Yeah, so I think for the most part, this is certainly should be the final change in terms of color, simply because when you look at it, we have the blue 50, and as you said, the 100 has been consistently blue, but then now we would have risked to a certain extent between the 50 and the 100. Mm-hmm. And so, but I think the family of notes that we have now and the different colors are separate enough so as not to confuse the public. And so we'll certainly maintain those for a while.
All right. So tell some of the features of this new $100 banknote, other than the figure, the image of A.D. Hanna. What else can we expect? Security measures. What's a part of it?
Yeah. So like all of the banknotes, we remain consistent with the watermark image intaglio. This note is again another industry first in that it's printed on a Durasafe substrate. So it's not the regular cotton that we've been used to, but it's the same substrate that the $50 banknote is printed on. And then it uses a motion surface security thread. So even in terms of security, this is also perhaps one of the most secure banknotes that we have produced here at the central bank. This note, along with the $50 banknote, we have brought together 3-4 suppliers having to work together to produce the paper, to produce the security thread, and to actually produce the note so that we have this banknote at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And we know the process is lengthy. Tell us about all of that and what's involved in that. Especially as you said, you're hoping to launch this before, unfortunately, A.D. Hanna. What does this entail? Getting a new banknote to launch?
Right. So in the case of a new banknote, the minimum time period on it is really 24 months, 24 to 36 months. We would have begun conversations over this note over 4 years ago, just in terms of the substrate and being able to apply the security thread and features to a particular substrate. Then there's the process of the approvals, the board approvals, cabinet approvals, ministry approvals, and then there's the actual design process, going through the designs, the proofs, checking the security features, the substrate, ensuring that it meets the banknote specifications, security specifications. And so at the end of the day, this particular note was in production from beginning to end in excess of 4 years. And that's generally, so banknotes in general take about 24 months to beyond in the case of new designs. So it's not an overnight process. It takes some time and planning.
What's the story behind putting Mr. Hanna on the $100 note as opposed to the 20 or the 5 or the dollar bill?
Right. So when if we look down the chain, Milo Butler would have been added to the $20 banknote in 1993 in commemoration of the 20th anniversary of independence. Cecil Wallace Whitfield would have followed in 1997 on the $5 banknote, and then we had Stafford Sands and Roland Simonet. And then I know I'm missing one. And so then we have, and the dollar bill, so Lyndon Finley. And the reason behind Lyndon Finley on the dollar bill as the father of the nation was to ensure that every Bahamian could have the note and at least have one as a keepsake.
Yeah.
And so that's the primary reason for that. In terms of other,
so everybody won't be able to have a $100 bill with Mr. Hanna. So
right. Yeah, but it's one of those things. Like I say, as we continue to recognize our nation builders, we still have the Queen on our half and $3 banknotes. But as we continue to progress and evolve, we'll continue to press the envelope in terms of the designs, the innovations, and like I said, these are perhaps the most secure banknotes that we've produced over time. We've moved away, in this instance, away from the cotton substrate and creating a very secure product. And so it's just trying to stay ahead of counterfeiters and keep aesthetically beautiful looking banknotes that are secure and robust.
Yeah. Tell us more about the appearance. Describe it to us. It is radio. So what's changed compared to what we saw with the banknote with the Queen, other than the colors? What else?
So the major changes, and one of the things I should also highlight is that we maintain indigenous features and cultural icons on Bahamas banknotes. So you'll see the blue marlin and on the front a royal poinciana flower in the center of the banknotes, and all of these we go through designing to ensure we have the correct size, that if it's open or closed, so that it looks nice on the banknote. And that it fits within the banknote landscape to also ensure that all the security features are uncompromised. The color, of course, on the reverse of the banknote, we have the band, so it's built in with a lot of security features. In addition to that, we have a feature for the blind, and so I'm not sure if the public may be aware of some of the horizontal lines and found on the edges of your $1 and $5, $10, $20 banknotes, and then you have the star of sorts on the 50. And so we try to add that security feature for the blind, and then there's a watermark image, which is the same image as the portrait with a watermark image of the denomination that helps the public to see, at a glance. If you hold the $100 banknote up and you see Lyndon Finley, you know that you have yourself a $1 banknote, regardless of what it is. So that consistency is also helped in terms of the public in being able to identify the banknotes. But yeah, we've remained consistent with Bahamian features on all of the banknotes, the replica map of the Bahama Islands, and those features, just so that we know that it's all Bahamian at the end of the day.
So how will you dispose of the $100 Blue Marlin notes?
Queen Elizabeth.
You mean the existing one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we won't remove it from circulation. So that'll be phased out through the natural process. As the notes go into circulation and when they come back into the central bank, if they're fit, we'll repackage them to be issued back into circulation, and if they're worn, we'll destroy them. And so they'll phase out in due course.
You have some people asking about counterfeit notes. What to do if you suspect? I think it's pretty easy. But if you suspect you have a counterfeit note, what should you do as an individual or as a business?
Well, if you suspect you have a counterfeit note, you certainly want to contact the police. You can contact us here at the central bank. You definitely don't want to pass it on. But again, in that regard, what we have also done is we've facilitated and we continue to facilitate counterfeit detection seminars for the public at no cost. So we've been facilitating those virtually since COVID, but we can certainly do that. Individuals can bring the notes to us here at the central bank and we can genuine or counterfeit. But the idea is certainly not to pass it on, which for some people may be a challenge because they may be at a loss, but you don't want to circulate what might be counterfeit banknotes.
And you don't get to exchange it when you come to the central bank. You don't get another $100 bill back. If you do,
no.
Oh dear.
So many birds will be passing it on.
Oh boy, exactly. That's unfortunate. All right, so let's get back to what we talked about initially about a living person on the note. So this is now, the policies have changed, is that right? And so going forward, we may see one day somebody who is alive on our money?
It's certainly possible. But as it stands now, we have completed our suite of banknotes in the Crisp Evolution family. And so at this point, the only notes left that doesn't have a Bahamian on it is our $1/2 and $3 banknotes.
Yeah.
And we don't expect to reprint or reproduce those for a very long time.
Right. When was the last time you did that? It's been a while, hey? I haven't seen one in ages.
Yeah. So we reproduced the $1/2 and the $3 in 2019.
Oh.
So those are new designs. But since then, the last time we produced the $3 would have been in 1984.
Okay.
That we redesigned the $3. And in the case of the $1/2, it would have been 2000 that we would have the last time it's been redesigned. So we have 19 years different in the case of the $1/2 and a little over 30 years in the case of the $3 banknote.
Oh my, wow. Now, I think this is wonderful but are you getting any flack at all? We got a text message or was it a letter? It was a letter that was printed a few weeks ago that was saying, well, it's unfortunate that Queen Elizabeth is no longer on the circulating money. Have you been getting any responses like that? Which would be surprising, but
I mean, we've seen some of the responses. Many of which I want to say more positive in terms of where we're headed, and then we naturally understand some people I guess wanting to remain true of sorts to the Queen as head of state, but it's nothing in our view to remove or get any political mileage or anything. For us, it's about designing secure and robust banknotes that look beautiful, that tell the Bahamian story. You look at the 10 and you see the lighthouse, you see the Nassau Harbor, that speak to these things. And like I said, we began this in 1993 when Sir Milo Butler was installed on the banknote. And so here we are, a few decades later, installing Arthur Dion Hanna on the banknote. We're pleased and we're citing that the majority of the Bahamian public are pleased and we're satisfied with that. But we do understand, the democracy and individuals voicing their opinion, and we appreciate that as well.
Sure.
Are you finding that as a result of COVID, and the push towards digitization that you have less currency in circulation?
Actually, we have. We continue to see that there were some ups and downs when the country was on lockdown, for significant periods. But what we have also found, as we continue to expand our digital currency, Sand Dollar, but what we continue to find is that in moments of stress and concern, people globally like to hold on to cash at the end of the day. But we're continuing to push our Sand Dollars, and so at the end of the day, we expect to see an increase of Sand Dollars in circulation, which is our digital currency, and then hopefully that'll bring down the value of cash in circulation, slightly.
Yeah. I'm getting an interesting question here. Why not use a more youthful photo of A.D. Hannah? That's interesting. What do you say to that? What do you say to
I mean, at the end of the day, it's similar to we have the Queen. I think the Queen is almost 100, certainly in her 90s. So today to put the young Queen when she would have gone on the throne, could for the most part doesn't quite line up with where that person is and where we know them to be today.
Right. Yeah.
So the photo that we have that you was for Arthur Dio and Hannah today, everyone is familiar. A photograph 40 years ago, 50 years ago, certainly the public, I may be asking, who's this young man?
Right. Yep. No, I think you're right. I think you're right there. Okay. So what happens on Wednesday, launch day?
Yeah. So we would have already commenced distribution of the pamphlets and other marketing collateral to the public so that they know the banknote, they know the features and what they should be expecting, and then the commercial banks will certainly order those, and so you should see those in short order in the ATM machines and being issued at the counter of the bank. So we'll certainly be getting it out into circulation, and so you'll see a flood of those in very short order beginning on the 6th.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Very exciting. Very exciting. I'm sure you're very excited about it. Jermaine Campbell, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And we're looking forward to seeing and touching one of these soon. Thank you very much, Jermaine Campbell. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more with the Central Bank about their Get Money Smart video essay competition for students. Great prizes with this one as well. We're going to get to that a little bit later. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send picture direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Final look at traffic now. In the past 30 minutes or so, there's been this major uptick in the traffic movement across the island. Several corridors are looking a whole lot different, beginning with the traffic buildup that we see happening on West Bay Street on the ride into the city. We've got major slow up on that traffic flow for the route coming in. There's slow traffic significantly from Saunders Beach all the way into the city.
Hefty traffic lines are built up and leaving the Eastern Road as well. That traffic is slowed down, especially mainly on the east end, getting past the Foxton Road intersection. As traffic past Johnson Road, it begins lightening up and moving faster. We've got a different look in the southwest area this morning. Samalabala Highway, almost emptied at this point. Big help on the $20 million roundabout. So traffic held up on that $20 million west lane is allowing Samalabala Highway to exit. So what we have is heavy traffic sitting and waiting on $20 million west lanes, but it's made it easier for both sides to get out this morning. Carmichael Road, not bad, still an easy ride out on the Blue Hill Road, though getting over the hill there slows the traffic getting into the $20 million roundabout below. Soldier Road from Blue Hill Road intersection all the way into the east area, passing Abundant Life and Kennedy Subs area, has slowed that route down as well. So you're going to be cautious in that area. Elsewhere Island-wide, you get a medium flow of traffic going on. But what we mentioned for you earlier are the high points of where traffic is really kind of hefty so far this morning. This NASA Traffic Report is service of J.S. Johnson, the only insurance agents and brokers giving you peace of mind in the Bahamas for over 100 years. You can call on 397-2100 for more info. With your Riders Guide, look at traffic in real time. I'm VANN.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Don't wait for disaster to strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and log in to request a police character certificate, renew your passport or driver's license, and more. Receive emails confirming requests and alerts when documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. My Gateway is fast, easy. Gateway.gov.bs and register today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who has responsibility for investments, recently sat with about 10 investors who have pending projects after committing during his party's election campaign to get projects that are stuck in the investment pipeline moving. Cooper says there are a large number of projects waiting to get the green light to begin, and he contended that some of these projects have the capacity to help the country's economy along. He said that he wants to see many more what he called shovel-ready projects for the Bahamas. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. Financial Secretary Simon Wilson says that there is no risk of the Bahamas defaulting on its debt, although there are significant downside fiscal risks. Wilson, who officially resumed his position as Financial Secretary following the PLP's election win last month, said that while the nation's fiscal position is challenged, it is not as grim as the picture painted in recent weeks by regional Dukerin. Just last week, Dukerin charted that the next crisis the Bahamas will face is a balance of payment crisis. Wilson telling Guardian Business on Sunday that it's not as bleak as this and there's no risk. He says, for that to happen would require so many things to go wrong that it would be almost impossible. He said, quote, that's not to say we don't have challenges. There are significant downside fiscal risks that we face in the short term, brought about by external shocks such as COVID-19, as well as the lingering effects of Dorian. But the risk of default is non-existent. There is no risk of default. And the Ministry of Finance will continue with quarterly financial reporting, as had become standard under the Minutes administration. Financial Secretary Wilson assuring this. Former Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest in 2018 introduced for the first time quarterly fiscal snapshots made available to the public to dissect the financial position of the government. It was a part of the previous administration's pledge to regularly update the public on government's budget performance, along with the annual fiscal strategy report, which was a requirement of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, passed by the Minutes administration in 2018. Overseas, a new report shedding light on how world leaders, powerful politicians, billionaires, and others have used offshore accounts to shield assets collectively worth trillions of dollars over the past quarter century. The report by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, bringing promises of tax reform and demands for resignations and investigations, as well as explanations and denials from those targeted. The investigation, dubbed the Pandora Papers, was published late Sunday and involved 600 journalists from 150 media outlets in 117 countries. Hundreds of politicians, celebrities, religious leaders, and drug dealers have been hiding their investments in mansions and other assets, according to a review of nearly 12 million files obtained from 14 firms located around the world. Much of the activity did not appear to be illegal either. The more than 330 current and former politicians identified as beneficiaries of the secret accounts include Jordan's King Abdullah II, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, the Czech Republic Prime Minister, Kenyan President, Ecuador's President, and associates of both Pakistani Prime Minister and the Russian President Vladimir Putin. The billionaires called out in the report include many like the construction mogul from Turkey and the former CEO of software maker Reynolds and Reynolds. Many of the accounts were designed to evade taxes and conceal assets for other reasons, according to the report. Some of those targeted strongly denied the claims today. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Friday, your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 100 shares, closing unchanged at 154. Bahamas First moving 2,000, unchanged at 239. Colina Holdings moving 200, closing at 626, unchanged. Commonwealth Brewery moving 500, unchanged at 675. Consolidated Water down 2 cents, closing at 228. Emira Incorporated up 6 cents, closing at 1107. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,073.75, down 7.63. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 120,993 shares crossing the exchange, with 32 trades accumulating a value of $353,010. The BISX All Share Index gained 0.87 points, or 0.04%. Year to date, the index is down 18.64 points, or 0.89%. The week's volume in Bank moving 85,080 shares in 6 trades with a value of $227,960. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in tonight for CFAL Talks right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 at 6:30 p.m. And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove on this Monday morning. We continue with more from the central bank this morning. There's an exciting competition underway, the Get Money Smart video essay competition. Here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome from the central bank, External Relations Officer Kevin Demerit. Kevin Demerit, great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan, and your guest, Ms. Musgrove. Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
All right, so this is exciting. Tell us about this. This is not the first one, I believe, right? You've been doing this before. Is that right?
Actually, this is the second time we've been doing this.
Yes.
We had the first one last year.
Right. Okay, tell us about it for those who might not be familiar. What is this all about?
So the financial literacy video essay competition is open to students grades 4 to 12. And the idea behind it is really to improve the understanding of financial services by the youngest members of our society. Because we know kids influence their parents. And if we can get them involved, learning, understanding, and being able to share that, we think that will go significantly along the way to financial services and how it's developing. That is the key driver for us.
Mm-hmm. All right. So from what you're seeing, how well do children understand all of this money and financial services, and just are we shielding them too much? What do you see especially from what you discovered last year?
Actually, I think most parents will tell you they're often surprised at just how much their kids actually know.
Oh, wow.
And last year was a good example. And the first time we had it last year, and we were surprised by the overwhelming response, the submissions by kids from all ages. And we were also very surprised by how enthusiastic and involved the parents were. So that was very gratifying to us because it says that parents understand the value of their kids. It wasn't just about the prize money. It was about kids demonstrating to their parents and to themselves that not only do they understand what's going on, but they're able to convey.
For awareness purposes, do you use the videos on your website? Like for a year or so?
Right. The videos, the winning videos, there's first prize and semifinalists, up to 5 semifinalists, and up to 6 honorable mention video submissions. All of them will be available on our website at the conclusion of the competition.
Great.
All right. So you said grade 4, is that right? Through 12. Now, some might say that's a little young, but you say it's never too young. I take it.
Okay. So there are 3 categories. The first is the primary school category. These are grades 4 to 6. And it is interesting, obviously, they're going to have some assistance by their parents, but we want to see the effort, the research by kids even at this young age. I think it's important for us to stress to parents that the competition and the judging, it's not about the cutest child, because everybody thinks their child is obviously the cutest, most beautiful, most perfect child in the world, right? So it is the way that child conveys their understanding of, in this case, and the subject for this year's competition is the Bahamian economy is an ideal model for digital financial services. Mm-hmm. And this is, for us, it's important because children at this age, by the time they become adults, digital financial services is going to be such a ubiquitous part of their lives. It's going to be as common for them as making purchases with cash is for us. So it is important for us to get that from them and through them at the earliest possible age.
So the child participating in the competition must be in the video, and that can be the only person in the video?
Yes, it is a video for the student, not the parent.
All right. Let's talk some more about that topic, the digital financial services, an ideal model, without giving any, any hints to what should be included in the videos from the people participating. But let's talk about that because there's some adults who don't get it, as you know. What are you hoping comes out of this discussion from the videos and that the public needs to be aware of?
So it would help if we have some quick background. The financial literacy has always been within our central bank DNA. Our goal has always been to educate the Bahamian public in terms of where we have come from in terms of financial services, where we are now, and where we're going. And so, quick history lesson. I'm sure you recall the days when we were getting paid in little brown pay envelopes every Friday in cash. And then there were days when the only people who had a checking account were businesses and rich people.
Right.
And we had credit cards that were US based, and you had to come to the central bank for a dollar card to pay that credit card bill.
My goodness.
Those were the old days. Most of us, I guess anyone under the age of 30 probably don't remember any of that. Then we move, of course, to debit cards and money transfers. Now, debit cards are ubiquitous. And then, of course, now the next step in that process, we had online banking, mobile banking, payment apps. I don't want to call anybody's name, new and the sun cash, those kind of persons. So you see how the financial services have been evolving over time. So the question that is being posed to the students is that when you look at our Bahamian economy, as it's grown, as it has developed, can you see where we are putting ourselves in position to continue to move this process forward? What do you as a student see that is currently existing in the Bahamas that tells you that perhaps we have not completed this process? Where do you see this process possibly going?
That's fascinating. Wow. I'm going to get some very interesting responses from this. All right, so tell us a little more about the format. Let's start with the primary school again. How long? What are the requirements? What's to be included? What's not to be included?
Right. We have left significant scope, certainly based on our experience last year, that if we give the student sufficient leeway, we're going to get some wonderful video essays. We have limited to 3 to 5 minutes. So we don't want, somebody to send us an hour-long movie. But what we found is that most students have either their own phone or have access to a smartphone. And, students nowadays, I don't want to call them kids, students, have all been involved in Snapchat or TikTok. So they've been making videos anyway. So we're saying, okay, videos anyway, here's a possibility that one, you get to do something that's productive, that's educational, that's entertaining, and that may actually win you some money.
All right, so that's interesting. So that means any form, any format you could do. I don't want to put ideas in people's heads, but you could do something musical.
But see, that's why I wanted to explain this video essay, because some persons may think it's just sitting in front of a camera and just reading something off.
Yeah.
Right.
Or,
so all right. So that brings us to the judging criteria, if you will.
Okay.
Right. And there are 4 criteria that the judges will look at. And one is that, does the student demonstrate an understanding of the topic? Are they able to present a clear understanding of the topic, either through definitions, through examples, or through the facts that they're going to use? The second criteria is the quality of background research and preparation. Right? Is the information presented that's relevant? Is it sufficiently varied to provide multiple perspectives on the topic? We also want to make sure that any presentation is persuasive, and it's the presenter use facts, examples, and clear reasoning to defend the position that is put forward. We expect different students to take different positions. Some may be more controversial, some may be more routine and relevant, but the fact of the matter is it should all be persuasive and organized. And finally, does the presenter make effective use of oral communication skills? Now, that does leave a lot of scope in terms of the type of videos that they're going to provide. I don't want to say that there's no reason to expect that if a student decides, for example, to use, you mentioned singing. I certainly see no reason why that would be a disqualifying factor.
Right. Okay.
The four criteria, do you understand the topic? Are you able to show that you've done some research and preparation? Are you persuasive in your presentation and how you go about delivering that material? Those are the criteria that the judge is going to be assessing the video essays.
Mm-hmm. And it's 3 minutes for all categories, or was that just for the primary?
It's 3 to 5 minutes for all categories.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Excellent stuff there. All right.
3 minutes is a long time.
It could be. It could be, or it could go by quickly.
You may be surprised just how long 3 minutes are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3 minutes are until you try and actually do this.
Yep, that is true. All right, we have about 3 minutes left here. All right, so you talked about the prices. Tell us once again what the prices are. You've got quite a few. Yep.
Right. So the first prize for the primary category, ages 4 to 6, is $2,500 for the winner, $800 for semifinalists, up to 5 semifinalists. The grades 7 to 9, first prize, $1,000 for each of the semifinalists. Grade 10 to 12, $4,000 for the first prize, and $1,000 for each of the semifinalists, up to 5 semifinalists. And what we've done, we've in fact more than double the prize money for the semifinalists. Because what we've gotten last year, we have got so many good videos that were not quite final, but we said we do want to be able to encourage and reward excellence. Mm-hmm. And this is our way that for those semifinalists, up to 5 in each of the category, we're more than willing to at least double the prize money for those entries that we think meet that criteria.
So will the reward money be paid in cash or in digital form?
Okay. This, of course, will be cash. Well, when we say cash, we mean, this will be credited to the appropriate bank account.
Yeah, so it'll be
your parents.
No sand dollars. This has been a great time to pay them.
Certainly, if there will always be an option for any payment made by the central bank, could be in sand dollars.
Okay.
Because sand dollars is just a digital version of our Bahamian currency. So certainly, we would want to encourage wherever possible to make use of sand dollars. But the idea is that these are cash prizes, and whether that cash is in a direct transfer to a bank account or direct transfer to a sand dollar account, certainly that will be at the option of the winner.
But you will not be paying cash to persons. Hot, cold cash to persons.
No.
Okay. Great.
But that's some good money though. There, I mean, right? For the first prize for grades 4 to 6 in the primary category, $2,500. That's up to and up to $4,000 for the senior stuff there. And again, Pam asked these videos. We are going to be able to see these. This is going to be available for us to watch.
Yes, the winners, the videos will be available on Central Bank's website with the link in our Get Money Smart Bahamas website, where the submissions will take place and the application would be at the Get Money Smart Bahamas website.
Mm-hmm. And in our final minute, tell us how to enter and when the deadline is to enter.
So the competition runs from the 1st to the 22nd of October. And what a student would do, you would go to our financial literacy website, www.getmoneysmartbahamas.com. You would see you would click on the flyer that's posted there, and it would take you directly to both where you can get more information and where you can actually fill out the application and where you could submit your submissions, your essays.
Okay, this is very exciting, and we hope when you have your winners, when you're going to announce your winners. You said that.
The competition ends on the 22nd of October, generally for 4 weeks for the adjudication, for the judging. If as expected, similar to last year, we have the kind of entries, numbers that we got last year, we fully expect that we're probably going to need that full 4 weeks to come to the point where we can announce a winner.
And how many entries you had last year?
Overall, 50 plus in total.
That's good.
Yeah, and so we're expecting that to grow this year, definitely. Great stuff. We would love to have the winners on. when you have that, if we can feature them, that would be great. We'd love to, to meet them.
That sounds like an excellent. It's something certainly we will make every effort to accommodate.
All right, sounds great. Kevin DeMerit, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And again,
Appreciate you having us.
No problem. It's the Get Money Smart Financial Literacy Video Essay Competition. It is going on now, and I'm looking forward to what comes out of that. All right, great stuff. Thank you again. Thank you to everybody at the Central Bank this morning. And Pam, that's it for us today.
Thank you, Dwight. Have a blessed week, Bahamas.
Thank you. Next week is a holiday, so I won't get to see you next week, Monday. But anyway, enjoy. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Wake up, it's a new day.